And what a lot of people don't know is that African Americans are the highest group of new homeschoolers in the United States right now. And I think that that's because we realize that honestly, the American school system is very oppressive to our Black boys. Hi guys, welcome back to Wealth Within Reach, and I have a special episode for you today. We are talking all about the homeschooling, unschooling journey, and I have a special person here with me today who helped us to jump this whole journey off. And I want you guys to make him feel so welcome. I have my middle son, Jaxon Brown.
Hey,
Welcome.
what's up?
Welcome. Happy to have you here, Jaxon.
My pleasure. It runs in the family.
It runs in the family.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to jump into it in a second. Welcome to the show. If I had to be honest, especially for the moms out there who were like, I would never homeschool my kids. I was the same way. I was that person who was like, I would never homeschool my kids. How do you do that? X, Y, Z. But as a mama, when you got to take care of your kid and something comes up, you got to do what you got to do. And so that's how we stumbled on to homeschooling. And we've been homeschooling now for almost 5 years. And I'm telling you, it's one of the best decisions I feel like we've made as parents. And so I'm really excited to jump into this topic today with you with Jaxon. All right, Jaxon.
All right.
So we've been homeschooling now for 5 years, right?
Right.
Do you remember when we first came to you and we considered saying, okay, Jaxon, how do you feel about homeschooling?
So I remember it was around 2020 and we was in the car and then you and Dad was like, all right, Jaxon, you got an option. Do you want to do homeschool or go back to regular school? So in my head, I'm like, dang, I like regular school. All my friends, all the people around me to support me. And then I was like, what is homeschool even like? I knew who homeschoolers was. Like, I knew the theory of it, but I was like, all right, so your mom and your dad teaches you, and you're just at home. I was like, that's whatever. It was just a little in and out type situation.
Yeah. So you were just trying to figure out if it's something that you would be even interested in doing, maybe or maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little bit before. It was actually around 2018, I think is when we started. But I can see not understanding what it is and having those like objections and hesitations about like what it actually is. Your last year of traditional school was the 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what grade are you in now?
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yep.
All right. So you're in the 8th grade now. So your last year of like traditional school was the 3rd grade. Do you remember what that was like for you back then?
Ooh, it was pretty rough. My mom could tell you, my dad could tell you, really anybody could tell you.
We got calls every single day, pretty much.
Not every single day. It wasn't that
I got
bad.
a voicemail. I got receipts, but it's okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Elementary school, to me, in my eyes, I learned a lot, but it seemed fun.
Yeah.
The people I was with, they looked at Jaxon like, oh, Jaxon, the funny guy.
Right.
I felt like I was kind of a leader.
Yeah.
Like my classmates, they would see me do the things I do, and they're like, dang, Jaxon, you're really funny and stuff. And then, although I was leading not in the right way, I still felt...
and not in the right way for the school system. What kind of stuff did you used to do that used to get them to call me?
I remember this one time, my teacher, I was playing games on my computer, and then my teacher was like, Jaxon, turn the computer off right now. It's time to go to lunch. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I get the computer. This was 3rd grade. Okay. I slammed it and I jumped on he said I was slamming the computer.
He said.
Well, see, adults can, get this.
Exaggerate?
Yeah, exaggerate a little bit. But what I did, I jumped on the chair and I was like, I'm not going. I was a rebellious child.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. All of our boys, we went through this journey of, especially, I mean, I have 3 boys, and my boys are very much like boys, you know, they're like, y'all are, you have a lot of
Yeah,
energy, you know,
adventurous.
y'all are adventurous, y'all are rambunctious, all the things that boys should be. And you know, we all kind of went through this season of like getting in trouble in school and things like that. But I know you and your journey, it was some hard times. Like there was some, you know, some bullying that happened and some, you know, actually verbal abuse from a teacher. How did those scenarios that were like really hard in school, like how do you think that affected you back then?
Back then, it was really hard for, you know, everybody around me was different. Like you got everybody was fitting into the culture. Everybody was like, "Oh, your average Atlanta kid," if I
Yeah.
can say that. And then this is me who's different from everybody else, talks different, sounds different, looks different.
Mhm.
Pretty hard when you say something and you like, you sound different, you sound weird.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to like to stand on your own in that
Yeah.
way, and then especially when you have teachers and teachers. I love teachers. I appreciate them. They have a really, really hard, you know, task at hand. Trying to make the impact that they're making within the system is really hard. But sometimes when you may have teachers that don't understand you or you're not aligned with you, you know, it could be very challenging and it could be hard to like respect them.
Yeah.
And so that's really hard. The biggest thing was, you know, we took you to see the psychologist, right?
I
Remember, yeah, we were
that.
there
Yeah.
all day.
3 hours.
Yeah, we were there all day because I'm like, okay, I'm getting all these calls. I don't want to keep punishing Jaxon. Maybe he needs some like additional support that we aren't aware of. And so, you know, went to the psychologist and they did the whole day's worth of testing. And then they came back to us and they were like, Jackson's fine. He just has a lot of anxiety specifically around school. We were like, what? So then, you know, we went on this journey trying to figure out like what we should do. And then we ended up landing at Homeschool, right?
Mhm.
So in the beginning, you know, how was it for you, like that transition? What do you remember?
So I think in the beginning, it was this woman who was holding a little co-op group. She had her sons, she had 3 sons, and it was me. I think I was doing that when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, 4th grade.
And then on Tuesdays, I went to this little co-op where there's multiple kids and
Yeah, other
different
homeschoolers,
homeschoolers
yeah.
come together. And you know, it was pretty cool. But the co-op environment was, you know, it was really different from the Atlanta public school environment.
Yeah.
And it was different because the Atlanta school environment, which was
All
you know,
black.
all black, and then the co-op environment, which is like all white. So in my head, I'm like, dang, I ain't never seen this before. Where's all this coming from? This is it felt like a whole new aspect in a chapter of life that I had to adjust to.
Yeah, yeah. That's a big transition. So going from traditional school to homeschool, and then even within homeschool, we've been through like the co-op, we've been through like different types of method of homeschooling, and now we're unschooling, which is essentially unschooling is self-directed learning, where we actually begin learning based off of the child's interests. What do you think the biggest benefits have been for you of homeschooling versus traditional schooling previously?
Oof, it's so much. All right, so me, I'm an athlete. I'm a baker, I'm a
Business owner.
People say therapist sometimes. But you know, I'm a very versatile person. So to have a versatile schedule, it just like literally fits me. Learning.
What do you enjoy more about learning as a homeschooler than traditional school?
So our learning is really different from traditional school. What we do is we travel to different places to learn. So let's say Costa Rica, for instance. We travel to Costa Rica to learn their environment and learn like what they do things different from Americans.
Yeah.
And you know, their tradition.
Yeah.
And it was really fun learning about that.
One of the biggest difference for you is that with homeschooling, we get to learn like a hands-on type of learning where we're learning as we go versus like, instead of like learning about Costa Rica in a book, we're actually going to Costa Rica to learn from the Costa Rican people, the Tico people, about Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's
Right. I
that
love
was
that.
really cool.
Yes. Some of you here may be considering homeschooling. And there's lots of reasons that you may be considering homeschooling. And what a lot of people don't know is that African Americans are the highest group of new homeschoolers in the United States right now. And I think that that's because we realize that, honestly, the American school system is very oppressive to our Black boys, if I can be honest. And being able to cultivate an environment where you can actually expose them to history, to, you know, different types of learning things that aren't whitewashed, being able to, you know, give them a larger amount of exposure in different subject areas, being able to not put your kids in situations where they're being bullied, and also even supporting mental health, being able to like have the autonomy and then the like where you can control the environment to support your child is just something that more and more of us are doing. Let me tell you about my upcoming event. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna want to hear this. It's time to step into a world beyond your typical real estate conference. Imagine walking into the room and you instantly find your people. I would like to introduce you to the Owning It and Living It experience. This is a 3-day unique experience that merges Black and brown culture with real estate insights to help you think about building wealth in a different kind of way. This isn't just about making money, although we know how to do that. This is also about welcoming you into an environment where you feel seen, known, and safe. Join me for an unparalleled experience designed to help you both financially and empower you through the power of real estate. The Owning It and Living It experience is November 1st through 3rd at the Intercontinental Hotel in Atlanta. Yes, sis, we're in Buckhead. To learn more, go to owningitandlivingit.com or scroll down in the show notes and I'll see you there. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about unschooling, all right? Yeah. So this self-directed learning and the way we learn and the way our academy at home, the way we actually homeschool again is super different than even more traditional homeschoolers. I call it we are routine unschoolers. So some unschoolers are super radical and they just let their kids just fully do whatever they want to do and they just support them and like fully whatever they want to do. We have more of like a structured routine. You know, talk to me about that. Like, what does your like day in the life or week in the life look like as an unschooler, business owner, and how you are able to learn and thrive?
So a typical week in the life for me will look like waking up probably around 5:30, get like a good hour workout, a little bit of cardio, because you know in the morning, like a lot of people waking up, slouching, running around, get coffee, dragging. When my body is active after I work out, it's easier for me to get the day rolling.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to think. And if I have orders or content or anything I have to do, it's easier for me to do that. So yeah, I'll work out. Then I'll probably go upstairs, take a cold shower. Now that really like, it's like your nerves are
natural
like,
caffeine.
So I'm like jumpy, all this, that. Probably have my music going, and then I get into the day. I will plan my day with my week on Monday. I plan with my mom. We'll put down a sheet of paper. We'll write down a schedule. All right, so we got a game right here. We got content we got to do right here. Reach out to this person, that, and we'll just do that all week. We got the standards, math, reading, and Spanish.
Yep, we're learning Spanish as a family. Yep,
as a family.
I love that. And so you absolutely operate kind of like we do as adults.
It almost like it gets you ready for what you're going to be experiencing, high school, college, so on and so forth.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love is that we don't have to rush through things. We can go as fast as we want to, or we can go as slow as we want to. If I see that, okay, the kids really are having a hard time with their mental health, we can focus on that. If it's like, okay, I want them to see one of the biggest things that I think we've been working on all year is how the food and how we take care of our body, how we take care of our temples, and how that actually affects like how we love each other, our moods, our energy levels. And so, we've been taking time learning about the different types of food we need to eat, the different types of nourishment. You have talk to them about your new fitness tracker.
Oh yeah. As an athlete, you got to make sure your body is like, you got to make sure you're consuming the right stuff. You can't just, oh, I'm finna wake up, eat some pancakes. Oh, McDonald's, let me go get a double stack. You know, you got to really hold yourself responsible and have accountability. Because when you're running up and down that court, it ain't, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that serve or that vanilla milkshake.
It's gonna make a difference. But yeah, one of the things as a parent that I love with our unschooling is that we really teach them how to be like whole people. And so we're able to really help them work on the things that aren't typically taught in school, like investing, like financial literacy, like, and just able to like experience it versus reading it in a book. And so that's something that's like been super, important throughout this journey. One of the biggest things for your specific homeschool journey, you and your brothers, y'all all have very different specific types of homeschool journeys, but yours specifically is ran by your business. Yeah. Talk to us about your business real quick.
All right, so if you don't know, my business is Brown Brothers Bakery. It's a bakery business, and I'll tell you how it started. So it all started back on the court. It's playing basketball, and I fractured my ankle. I will always work with my uncle in his landscaping business, like a lot. Like in the summer, I probably worked every day. I was like, oh, I need money for this and that, which I would just spend it on junk food or clothes. There was this day I was like, dang, I really need to figure out, like,
because you broke your ankle and you couldn't work.
I was in a cast. Like, I was over here limping, dragging my foot. I couldn't eat, like, there was times I wanted to take the cast off so bad. I'm like, ugh. So after my injury, I decided, dang, I can't mow lawns anymore. I got to think of something. Thinking, and then boom. I was like, how about baking? It's all down here from that. Mama know.
We had business boot camp, remember?
Yep, business boot camp, Skillshare, learning. We wrote a vision board, what the vision was, a lot of practice. I used to run my debit card up the first few months. Chocolate chips, they walk in the kit, like, it was wild.
It was wild.
Crazy results.
Yes.
Rocks, it would look like rocks. It would look like
so lots of testing and failing.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you fail?
I literally got back up. Like, I just, all right, back to the lab.
Yeah, back to the drawing board. Let's figure out what we need to do to tweak it. And what I love about your homeschooling journey through running your business, you have learned how to do so many things that you learn in traditional school, but in an unconventional way. So a part of growing your business is you have to learn, how to do certain measurements, which were, fractions and percentages. You have to learn, how to actually track your ingredients. You have to learn how to create a website. You have to learn how to do sales and marketing, how to find customers, how to survey customers.
How to talk to customers.
Yes. Yeah, all the things. And this past year, because of your love for baking, we actually got a chance to go to the baking capital of the world.
Oh, yeah, Paris.
And we went to Paris, France.
Yeah, that was
yes,
fun.
and he actually got a chance to go to the oldest bakery in Paris.
Yeah.
So, that's just one of the things that I just love, that real estate really gives us the fuel to be able to do truly whatever we want to do. So if there's anyone out there, there's like maybe a young person out there that's going to school and they really don't like it and they're having a hard time, what advice would you give to them? Or if there is someone out there and there's a parent maybe, and they're struggling because their kid isn't motivated, the kid is going to school, they're bored, they're not motivated, what advice would you give to them about considering homeschooling as their education option?
For all the kids out there, what I have to say is, just because you act different or do things different, that doesn't make you weird. It just makes you unique. We all have our gifts that God has given us, and all you got to do is just find it. As for the homeschool experience, it's going to be an adjustment at first. You might start bickering with if you have siblings, bickering with your siblings, bickering with your mom, this, that. It's going to be all right. Just know there's people that's out there that care for you. You're going to like it. You're going to love it. You're really going to love it. Yep.
I could cry. Thank you so much. I would say a couple things to these folks, to the parents specifically. I've seen my mom seen this too because at first she was really like, should you do this? You know, should you homeschool them? And what if
we used to be doing stuff, and then she was like, so this is unschooling. Everything I would do, I would make a lunch. Oh, so you unschooling? I'm like, ooh, you got a lot of...
Yeah, she was just very nervous that they were going to get behind, quote unquote, or are they keeping up with other kids? And, you know, all these different hesitations that you have. Even she's acknowledged, and what I've seen the most that I'm most proud of is I've seen Jaxon's confidence go through the roof. Like, because he's been able to find something that he loves and nurture it and like really be able to like grow and identify his strengths, that has really affected his confidence in a huge way. Now, literally, we can be anywhere in the world and give it 2 minutes. Jaxon has made a friend. They have followed each other on IG. He is bringing them over and it doesn't matter like what they look like, where they're from, how old they are. And it's just something that I feel like homeschooling has definitely helped. And on top of that, one of the really amazing surprises that I didn't expect that we experienced is that we are so much closer as a family now that we homeschool, just because we literally spend more time together. We just really are so much closer as a family, and we have a really fun time. So
yeah,
I will just say, if you are out there and you have those hesitations and you're considering homeschooling, there's so many different types of homeschooling methods, but specifically unschooling. We are not trying to keep up with other kids. We are trying to grow and be the best people that we can ourselves. I would just encourage you to reach out to me, continue to really deeply consider homeschooling if you feel like you really connected with this episode. And just thank you so much for being here for another episode of Wealth Within Reach. I will see you guys next time.
See y'all later. Tune in. Next episode coming soon.